我大摩是耶稣好，我那波嘛就是你，那么说是你，那么我大摩是耶稣好，也知道这个做那了，讲究蛮多那的感受是，大概去年给别从那些做了边界上给做法说。觉得这个就难了，讲究蛮多难的搞出去，大概去年给别做那个做了边界上给做法说。觉得这个就难了，讲究蛮多难的搞出去，大概去年给别做那个做了边界上给做法说。今北边就新北多长，围绕历史地点跟法的，上天心头明天发音，就跟那那些老绝法说。如让他们到了冈地呀，他呀，please adjust your sitting posture according to the 7 meditative postures of Vajrayana. I think all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but for numberless times. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering due to mistakenly engage in objects of adoptions and objects of abandonment. They do not experience any happiness but suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings were to have excellent happiness and its causes that are virtue. May they have excellent happiness and its causes. I'll cause them to have excellent happiness and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. So, next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking how nice it would be if all mother sentient beings were free from all suffering and its causes that are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and its causes. Our freedom from all suffering and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms. Even though I should take on the responsibility, now I do not have the ability to place them on the state of perfect complete enlightenment. Who has such abilities then? Only those who have achieved the state of perfect complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment. Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into the aspects of a complete mundis at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, which is one's mind becoming one taste with emptiness. All phenomena lack inherent existence. That transform into the aspect of a white five-pronged vajra on top of the moondeeps. Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while. The self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one. If they were inherently one, they would necessarily become partless one. If they were partless one, they are following faults. The faults of it would be pointless to assert a self. Self would become many. The self was subject to productions and disintegration. You will be unreasonable to remember past lives. Karma one has done would go wasted. One would meet with karma one has not done. Therefore, the self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one.
就是能力到的这个东西，也是过程就给在看，那就是快点。
是他的，
或者他的，他的可能这边特别都记得的这看，那就这个东西，啥都是我去。
The self and the aggregates also do not exist as inherently different. If they were inherently different, they would necessarily become unrelatedly other. Thus, it is empty of inherent existence.
也就是讲的，我说这个这个，就是我们生活跟前面的，都多么讲的，为什么心里我什么东西，所以你看，也啥都是看，现在的，也是这东西，对吧？多，一切都是不是，这今天当你也啥都是解决是，这个也啥都是解决，有在的，已经发现也是，也是。
As I always say, it is very important to conjoin the roots of virtue of our three doors with the practice of six perfections. Thus, to conjoin these roots of virtue with the practice of six perfections is as follows. The first one is generosity. The nature of generosity is a mind of giving. These 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma is for the sake of arising of happiness and purifying sufferings of sentient beings. If I'm able to cause this mind to manifest strongly, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of generosity.
就是自己是我的嘛，自己我是我些，也啥不是几个个是另外个年纪人或者不同嘛，就我前面的光是要不去，要不去当年，也啥不是结果第一个是原则的自己不是他们是不的是。
Next is morality. The nature of morality is a mind of abandonment. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal misdeeds without letting them manifest. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this way, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of morality.
这就是我们这边生活的水平，我什么东西，那那上或者这比较是，有些啊，认为的刚刚各这种当中，那些土个就结果，在等于上班去，倒不如当年，别讲到那上或者结果呢，第一个是给这的水平那些都没得事。
Next is patience. The nature of patience is an undisturbed mind. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will patiently accept any physical and mental hardships and difficulties. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this way, to cause this mind to manifest strongly, while causing this mind to manifest strongly, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of patience.
那第二就是给我的注意什么的，身体情况什么东西，那那上或者结果了，给我的重，这里中国人呢，第一个是给这里关于那些的事。
Next is joyous effort. The nature of joyous effort is a mind enthusiastic for virtue. I will joyfully and enthusiastically engage in these roots of virtue of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this manner, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of joyous effort.
都身体里边的最基本里边的身体情况什么东西，讲到就是那个年上不足七的告诉，身体给年上不足七的给小娃的话，从最基本的话念头过去，弄到的弄样的话，弄到的七的，那肯定是录制品。 강다세 로지 디네 예상고 제바이나 디니 가서 계자디
Next is concentration. The nature of concentration is a mind that is a single-pointed mind with respect to virtuous object. I will single-pointedly focus my mind on this virtuous activity without being overcome by distractions and discursive thoughts. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this way, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of concentration. The last one is wisdom. The nature of wisdom is a knower that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. I will properly and unmistakenly understand the words and meanings of the Dharma that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this way, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of wisdom. Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this, I will listen to the holy teaching and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings. Today we are going to talk about the difference between the aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta.
That's all the
Verse 15. In brief, you should understand the minds of enlightenment to be of two types: the mind that wishes enlightenment and the mind that engages enlightenment. So here it says that the mind of enlightenment to be of two types: the mind that wishes enlightenment and the mind that engages enlightenment. So here it talks about wishing bodhicitta or wishing mind generation, and the second type is engaging bodhicitta or engaging mind generation. The mind generations or minds of enlightenment or bodhicitta, so they are the same. They refer to the same thing. So this wishing or aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta is divided in terms of the entity of bodhicitta. So when bodhicitta is divided in terms of entity, then there are two types: engaging bodhicitta, aspiring or wishing bodhicitta, and engaging bodhicitta. And if bodhicitta is divided in terms of etymology, then there are two types: conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So this is the divisions merely from this is a mere divisions from the perspective of etymology. So otherwise, ultimate bodhicitta doesn't become the Mahayana conventional bodhicitta. So in terms of the divisions by way of mere etymology, then there are these two terms: conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So otherwise, in general, when we talk about ultimate bodhicitta doesn't become the Mahayana conventional bodhicitta.
我比如啊，我以为给那些，我说就那这个生气有生效果的了，今年的话，就等到他我的，看他啊，天气短到，这样子我都被长期待在这明白的从这个实验上的，这个明白的到达结果是吧？现在的明白的叫了啥？长期现在的明白的叫，现在的明白的叫，长期的明白的多了啥个啊？多了啥个？他讲的，俺这个生的结巴了，讲的你不得先跟第三方打吧，他讲的，哦，给在今我都跟我打把小朋友啊，应该上去我都把小的打把朋友啊，我几个啊，哦，那现在看到是，那现在跟你聊的，有些杨大把做的上去恐怕，我不是那让你做不下去嘛的，上去跟你你把没聊多啊，上去跟你你把从你聊多啊，哦的。다 되는 게 생기되는 양다고 또 자주 되는 게보다 성격이 더 세더라 이제 보시겠어요. 무슨 소리를 가지고 세주 많이 나보다 세주 많이 조세 무슨 소리도 조세 세주 많이 세 무슨 소리야.
And and the definitions of Mahayana bodhicitta is a mind that is mind concomitant with inspiration, mind that is concomitant with aspiration, striving for perfect complete enlightenment for the sake of others. So a mind that is concomitant with aspiration, striving for perfect complete enlightenment for the sake of others. So in these definitions itself, it mentions two aspirations. So the aspirations striving for the sake of others. So that's why it says a mind concomitant with aspiration striving for perfect complete enlightenment for the sake of others. So for the sake of others itself indicates the cause which is the aspiration striving for the sake of others. And the aspiration striving for enlightenment itself is the companion. So one is the cause, the aspiration striving for the sake of others is the cause, and aspiration striving for enlightenment is the companion. So a mind concomitant with these two aspirations is a Mahayana bodhicitta. So and a Mahayana bodhicitta is a main mind and is not a mental factors. So usually when we say generate bodhicitta, then we talk about for the sake of others, right? So bodhicitta must be generated for the sake of others, and this indicates the one of the aspiration, which is the cause. And then I become this. May I become a Buddha, or I will achieve the state of enlightenment. This indicates the companion, which is the aspiration striving for perfect complete enlightenment.
我就说，我等到这边我看到根据现在的样到第三季度，都被教育跟你明白的出这个谁当都是这个我跟你下的吧。那个我是等到我关系的，我多的，你们现在会说，那对我一个人谈了，我可能那不是你对吧？是你那个的，一个人你那个的，这几个人也是长年人，就是说吧，那你长年我怎么什么问题吧？我这个人也是长年。上次就跟你写完呢，写了啊，上次就跟你写，就对了，这些是啊，快多，
So a mind concomitant with aspiration, striving for the perfect complete enlightenment for the sake of others. So this is the definitions of Mahayana conventional bodhicitta, and this is the entity of Mahayana conventional bodhicitta. So this is for the sake of us, for the sake of understanding the meaning of bodhicitta. So when bodhicitta is divided it's divided by entity. There are two: aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta, as I mentioned just now. And when bodhicitta is divided by companion, there are 22 types. There are 22. And when it is divided by boundaries, then there are four.
我的地方是生活我们因为每个事情就不是你的，每个事情就不是你讲那做，确保的嘛，我的嘛习惯，每个什么习惯的习惯哇，这个就么个就我的嘛的习惯。我讲到我说，实际你去找你，他根据我都觉得我都吃小的，他的。 이게 생긴 얘기 사는 장도래 이 자로 오시구나. 근데 친구로 살게요. 좋아.
圣业你去三
생긴
年，
얘기 사는 이사를 해야 지가 이 같은 거로 살게. 다들 들이치 뭐 그거 있다 제일 지시 있으면 시기 좋아. 당가도 될까도 막 가르치자기나 산사주권이 에나 예와 생기지다 와 이마시 산사주권이 왔다. 도주권이 익산이와 산사주권이 에나 나디레 시 이마치 좋아.
So regarding the difference between inspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta, so I will explain it later in the context of example. And as I mentioned just now, when bodhicitta is divided by companion, there are 22. There are 22. So there are 22 types of bodhicitta. So, and if I were to explain it, then it will take up the whole class just to explain these 22 types. So I will explain it when there is an opportunity. Then when the time is right, then I will explain it. Today I would like to uh, talk about the bodhicitta when it's divided by boundaries. So when it's divided by boundaries, there are four.
간다 들어와. 예. 이 간다. 그 산사주권이 생기셔서 와데 매주지 가서 매비지 생시서다. 뭐 매주 소조 같이 상황 전화 가서. 소위 매주 가서 매비지 생시서 그래. 마다스타 딩기 다사 담보네 사 딩바 매제도 생기라 하선 때 생시서. 지난 거 무슨 직셔를 만들어서 이제 와. 다버서서 넘어가는 생시서. 다버서서 자 지금 그거 들어왔어. 얘가 넘어가는 생시. 상지 사이 생기를 비법은 생시서. 상사지만 제가 저기 생기를 작을 내서 와.
So when bodhicitta is divided by ways of boundaries, then there are four types. The first one is mind generations of engagement through belief. So mind generation of engagement through belief. So mind generations of engagement through belief is on the occasions of it talks about the bodhicitta on the occasions engagement through belief. So the occasions of the engagement through belief refers to the first two paths, paths of accumulations and path of preparation. So that bodhicitta on that occasion is called, on those two occasions, is called mind generation of engagement through belief. And then the second type is mind generations of special pure attitudes. Mind generations of special pure attitudes, and it refers to the first. It refers to the occasions of first ground up to and including the seventh ground, seventh impure ground. And then the third type is a ripening mind generation. So ripening mind generations refers to the mind generations on the three pure grounds. On the three pure grounds refers to 8 up to 10th ground. And the last one is mind generations of one who has abandoned obscurations. Mind generation of one who has abandoned the obscurations, and this refers to the occasions of the Buddha ground. And I will also briefly talk about when bodhicitta is divided by way of generation, then there are a few types. So I will let you know. I will explain it.
예, 담보 신체 단계 상지 사고에 예제로니 상지 상지 번데버데 슈즈다 세지스. 아무래도 많이 그거든. 그 뒤에 니가 선바데 라니 신체 단계다 인형을 차져왔는데 저거기 그것도 세지스. 그 신체스 됐어요. 신체스 와.
So when bodhicitta is divided by way of modes of generation, then there are three types. And the first one is called king-like bodhicitta. King-like bodhicitta. So king-like bodhicitta is wishing oneself to become Buddha first or become enlightened first, and then place all sentient beings on the Buddha ground. And this is king-like bodhicitta. So wishing oneself to become Buddha first, and then place all sentient beings on the Buddha ground. So this is the first type, king-like bodhicitta. And the second one is herdsman-like bodhicitta. Herdsman, like cow herds. Yeah, cow herdsman-like bodhicitta. So this type of bodhicitta is wishing all sentient beings to be placed on the Buddha ground first, and then oneself becomes Buddha. So this is the second type, herdsman-like bodhicitta. So wishing all sentient beings to be placed on the Buddha ground first, and then oneself become Buddha. And the third one is boatman-like boatman. So boatman, the boat, and the one boatman-like bodhicitta. So boatman-like bodhicitta is wishing oneself and all sentient beings to become bodhicitta, to become Buddha together or simultaneously. So it's called boat-like bodhicitta, boatman-like bodhicitta.
那最后的升阶段的，然后一直都是往上提了。另外的第三个有的升阶段速度啊，因为你这个长久的升的阶段你送到了我看的都是，是吧？他第二上是不结果的做的，我的长久的升方向的做升阶段领导我有的送到有的话，然后我呢长久的升的我呢遇到的结果都是领导送到了看的结果都是，那的好好的结果啊。那党部对小的党部问题上级，那第一就是世界当中上级设了，是跟这世界上就有的话，这世界上这世界上给他去党部的话，党部的去两两个的去的去的话，这样子上大家的，我也那是我是强就谁的，结果的，你送到了世界上的看理人，看的听不懂是，我这拿去先进打把工有的话，你讲的你送到了看的听不懂是，你上党部的，这党部的去的话。
So there are three types of there are three ways of generating bodhicitta, or there are three modes of generating bodhicitta. So we have to think about it. So which one is the actual mode of generating bodhicitta among these three types? So we always cultivate bodhicitta. So then we have to know which one is the actual modes of generating bodhicitta. And the first one is oneself become Buddha first, and then place all sentient beings on the Buddha ground.
先觉得明白的可是呢，全部自己当就上去上来，也就让你上去把这个学习到不是呢，就是让我是走，我就路的也路啊，我就是高的说的，走叫的当部是这上头的，走的修了路啊，就是当部来当路啊，对未来当路啊。那这里别想过吧，就是特别晓得，就是做这个当不升级的未来呀，当然世界里啊，什么呀都是得去很多的吧。我第个升级上去的，第二个升级上的人多，我是升级上头啊，第二个人多人们都是，那得来上岗。
So should the actual modes of generating bodhicitta be like the first one, oneself become Buddha and then place all sentient beings on the Buddha ground, or should it be like the second type, the herdsman-like bodhicitta, which is also to place all sentient beings on the Buddha ground, then oneself becomes Buddha. So herdsman-like bodhicitta. So this herdsman example, herdsman or cow herd is they are herds like sheep, yak, cow, and etc. Then the herdsman will follow them behind. They will follow behind those herds or those livestock. So and then chase those livestock, the herds from the back. So then it's similar to this. That's why it says herdsman-like bodhicitta. So to place all sentient beings on the Buddha ground first, and then oneself becomes Buddha. So should it be like the second type, herdsman-like bodhicitta?
我当然不是觉得，你不是就是这个升级的，两个别的来关系是吧？别的来关系，他在俺这升级当中就是人的就在上班地方起来的，他上班的俺说你不特别升级了的，俺说就跑着起来跑不了了，就当年是吧？就当年的没见过呀，是说如果如果呢，所以呢，你可娘的话，你看娘的多家人嘛都，当年的我们都说学了要嘛的。就是你那个当去了，对吧？可以嘛吧？可你娘的话去跑的没活啊？就当年的话，就是说，所以说给你娘的话那个也是，你老的你不等信息， 等于三阶段的，我说让你的身体你看上级杀了两百多的三阶段的，让你的身体的你看上级杀了两百多三阶段的。
And the third type is a boatman-like bodhicitta. So boatman, so how say if they want to carry a passenger from one side to another side, then the boatman will travel together with the passenger, right, and reach the other side together. So then, similar to this example, with this boatman-like bodhicitta is to wish all sentient beings and oneself to become Buddha at the same time or together or simultaneously. So should this third type, should this boatman-like bodhicitta be the actual mode of generating bodhicitta or not?
当然这三阶段，我呢三阶段个你把的个人别说了，三阶个你把的，个人的听不多是吧？知道吧？三阶个你把的，个人的听不多别说了，个人的听不多是这样子定了的，是吧？你多一档的，我那你三阶的，那你三关的，别说了三阶段的，个人听不多是。
So we always cultivate bodhicitta, right? And this bodhicitta that we usually cultivate, which one is it, how say, uh, concordant with? So which one is it concordant with? So among these three types of bodhicitta, so which one is the way of generating bodhicitta that we usually cultivate?
The first one. The first one.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Why? Yeah.
First, we have to become a Buddha first in order to lead all other sentient beings to liberation. If we are not a Buddha first, we have no contents. That means we don't have the qualities, contents to guide other sentient beings.
唐伯呢得说上给我切，那得接啦，甚至他们接上给以上啦，去其实唐伯上给说的上嘛给我呢，先来去给原点的我对吧的我有嘛的是。Yeah, it's a very good answer. So then why is it called king-like bodhicitta?
Geshe-la, it's called king-like because the king is more important than his subject. He's top of the pecking order.
那基本呢这样可以去学的意思。
讲你个人也不熟悉是吧？那历史是吧
？Yeah, so both of your answers are very good, correct.
那要不呢？生起了罗巴搞的这个呢，接个你不有的话，我这本两大脚步，看的这个罗巴这个呢，后来接个你不有的是吧？是吧？那你结婚的话，这里是没白呢，那个事情我两大把这里些呢，样后来罗巴搞的结婚呢，要接个，那你好不学有的话，我到脚步你不接个，生起了罗巴接个你不有的是，你不有的是，他得调上，讲那个你调上这个去了，不要我就是。
Yeah, so because as a king, then one has the ability to help many sentient beings, whether to dispel their poverty or to free them from suffering, a state of suffering, etc. So, and if oneself is not a king, so meaning that one doesn't have the ability to help others, then it will be difficult to offer your help to others. If one doesn't have the ability, then it will be difficult for one to offer help to others.
当然，我是讲的像这些大部分是吧？你知道不？你管的大点的调上，看到那个大，对，你谁管的，上大会呢？你调上还可以是吧？要不这个升级的，
So we always meditate on bodhicitta, right? So then you should understand the bodhicitta that we cultivate and I say that is related to the meaning that we have explained just now.
那这个呢，看到是这个升级的。看到升级上的，看到被当么升级上去杀了呀？当别让你上去杀了，如果是那你个要嘛的话，你这升级把的要不的话，被升级当的要不的话，你呢？升级把基本上现在听过去， 就是这类都要嘛，是吧？
嗯
俺们生气上去杀了多少个女的要嘛的，这个谁说的有人同心上去杀了的？你既然你上去我都是谁说的好话？对，当不本身就做小鬼了，做小鬼了，哎，不是小鬼的，你那他带个拿去女的这里我要嘛的是，是吧？
And the second way of generating bodhicitta, which is herdsman-like bodhicitta, and is a wish to place all sentient beings on the state of enlightenment first, and then oneself become Buddha later. So it is a very good way of generating bodhicitta because this way of generating bodhicitta places sentient beings first. So they regard sentient beings as the main one and to be placed on the Buddha ground first. So from the perspective of mental strength, and then it is very good. So however, if one to become Buddha after sentient beings becoming Buddha, then there is no a concordant ability to do so. So there's even though the mental strength is very good, however, there is no concordant ability to do that, to do so.
我的是，孙报的讲到，你要被世间不要活人，你被生气的靠马照啊，要不要上你杀了多少个意思？那你就是说了，生气的马照，生气的只要有的话，现在只要有的，反正只要有呢，生气的马照啊，那么要上去杀了多少个意思？就是，第一呢，在基本上是等到主图要嘛，是吧？这主基本上是等到主图要嘛的，那个被什么上过人多啊，会跟生气的多啊。
So also the third type of generating bodhicitta is a good way of generating bodhicitta because this bodhicitta is definitely generated out of loving kindness towards sentient beings. So which is a wish to place, which is a wish to a wish for oneself and all sentient beings to become Buddha at the same time, together or simultaneously. So even though it's a good way of generating bodhicitta. However, one will not be able to accomplish it as one wishes.
我的是说，他感觉这个我都蛮多人，他对起来看到，他民族啊，这没把生气的，就把生气的做的，他讲这个你想法这个的，他等到俺做生气的，要不得个生气的，他不是话，也是弄了俺做生气，我也这个生气，城里的变化的，生气当的要不得个生气也是的啊，话，但是这种的人要不他也是。
So the qualified way of generating, the main way of generating bodhicitta, or the actual way of generating bodhicitta, will be the first way, the king-like bodhicitta, and it is a qualified way of generating a bodhicitta.
我的是说，我做生气的都看到，没把生气的，就把生气的，而从那看到，我做特别全部，生气的。 生气的头的生气的马，这些生气的马，或者讲特别全部折的起不了嘛，特别全部折的要起头了嘛，是吧？那全部折的要起不了，也不得生气去透过，这些生气的头的特别全部这样的起了的，特别全部这样的起了嘛，这而且特别是的，说实在的，我都装了我的没事吧，是吧？而且特别是的，做啥的，我中央的这些生气经历，这个你。 芒果种的没错，而且长面树错塞，是吧？错塞，那就根据长面树的错塞的，长面树的错塞当的，从这就开始错上来接，而且当不的。那你把的马上塞定了哇，塞定把名气，当不的定把吧，赶紧你把的，大把塞上，结果给我就把上一个错塞的，赶紧他妈的哇，电上了电的错塞把电得上去就把头的哇。
Yeah, so before one generates bodhicitta, so one is not included within a Mahayana. So after generating bodhicitta, then one will be considered as a Mahayanist. So one will be included within Mahayana. So and generating bodhicitta itself is the start or is the beginning of the accumulations of three countless eons. Is the beginning of accumulations of three countless eons, accumulations of merits of three great countless eons. Yeah, and the first great countless eon, merit of first great countless eon is accumulated during the path of accumulation and path of preparation, and the merit of second great countless eon is accumulated during the first round up to including the seventh round, and the third accumulations of merit of third great countless eon is accumulated from the 8th ground up to the 10th ground. And in dependence on these accumulations of merit of three great countless eons, then one becomes Buddha. Yeah, so please give me 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that is just the that also digital. That one that the whole material with that in the do one that do that you see in Chibajidoa. That also you do that you see in can picture and Gawari, yes, you do the Natasha, which you don't back to Shigura. You don't back to Shigura. And you see what you have to see members see that was the kitchen issue or that day, and you say Dini. But in your Koran, you is a less. That means that you was in Levi Choga. Choga, Lohachi, yours, your Maris, Saint Chirua, Levi Chile. That
Minju
was in Levi Chile. Limbi Choga, one Judu Limbi Choga, you know why your Maris. Sinji Limbi Chile. Sinji Limbi Chile, Los and Judu Limba, Nikia Maris. Dini Kakashana, the number one is that the gentleman is so or Juba Sinjeda, no, you do the Juba Sinjan Gabriel, Juba Sinjan Limbi Chile, was if you do Limbi. They were my watching with the number watching with the rest. That is all. But didn't have a material.
So in general, when we talk about the vow of engaging bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta. So in general, when we talk about the vows of engaging bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta, in general, they are mutually exclusive. So mutually inclusive meaning that vows of engaging bodhicitta refers to bodhisattva vows, and engaging bodhicitta refers to the bodhicitta that I mentioned just now. The two types of bodhicitta, one is aspiring bodhicitta, and the second one is engaging bodhicitta. So it refers to the engaging bodhicitta. So in general, these two, engaging bodhicitta and vows of engaging bodhicitta, are mutually exclusive. And however, if you were to say that taking the engaging bodhicitta, the ritual of taking bodhicitta, and the taking the vows of engaging bodhicitta, these two are different. If you were to assert that the ritual of taking engaging bodhicitta is different from the vows of engaging bodhicitta, then this is a great misunderstanding, or great misunderstanding. That's all.
세단 주도를 줘가 소소 제보야 신다 첨보다 우리도 들어서 신다 첨보 싹 거기야 이게 뭐 말이지 이거 뭐 말이지 빠진 수밖에 제가
지상에 니가 대 주심 레미초가 당 주동 레미초가 있는 지바지게 하노 전다게
소소 잘하고 그랬어
That's all. So regarding the ritual of adopting engaging bodhicitta and the ritual of adopting the vows of engaging bodhicitta as different, this is not asserted by any great pioneers or great charities, and thus it is incorrect. So I repeat, if you regard the ritual of adopting engaging bodhicitta and the ritual of adopting the vows of engaging bodhicitta as different, then this is not asserted by any great charities, and thus it is incorrect. So meaning that they are the ritual of adopting engaging bodhicitta and the vows of engaging bodhicitta are not different.
What is your 간다가서 주바스게 두루스와 아주 상식이 동가들 내어 당아서 저도 우리 이제 치에서 몸을 소화해와
공다
동발내우리 와 동발내다 대쇼마게 같이 그래서 동발내 가라와 기소야 몸을 열어와 주바스게 동바 나다 무슨 동발내거든 일내는 가서 멤버스게 이야기 너무 말해 와 멤버스게 내야된 주바스게 이야기 너무 말해 유도들랑 가서 자도 조제다 이제 시시所以说
give you share
你写送的你写送的品质吧我跟你讲那第二话我的送过的我没写了都不会没写了都不会
So when we adopt the vows of engaging bodhicitta, then there are vows to be kept or to be guarded. So like for example, the 18 root vows and 40 plus secondary bodhisattva vows. So and this is so one has to keep those adopt and keep those bodhisattva vows when we go through the ritual of adopting engaging bodhicitta, and this is different from the aspiring bodhicitta, because in the occasions of adopting aspiring bodhicitta, and there is no need to adopt these vows.
디나가 가도 지도 그래서 본조 생기는 된다 생기기 제발 잘 도와주면 이제 가도 좀 도와 이걸 대단한 거야 이제 뭘 봐.
하라.
그런데 또 이상
가서
참 도와 본조 생기는 거 메이드 수주고 상지주 군주도过来 明白就본조 생기에서 되와 본조 생기 상지주 过来面 당연히 된다 생기에서 이게 말이 있어 된다 생기에서 와도 상지주 된다 맨내는 것도 공부하는 것도 된다 뜻이고 와 산지 된다는데 민능에서도 비슷해니다 된다 세시에서 너무 됐어 와 된다 세시에 너무 됐어 된다 세시에 된다 공부하는 병원에서 또 비슷해 당연히 된다 세시 도와도 비기나 잡아도 비기나마도 요마 되면도 요마로 이제 밥지 돈링원스도 비슷해다 돈링원스도 받은 거 된다 세시에 전화다 전화받을 줄 요마 전화비다 요마래 전화비다 요마로 와 머리니 Then you have to watch the unit song of the one of your own to the mellow. Oh, they may also that I need to
대신 된다
이게 통화 봐. 요 말에
대신 된다면 셈기
된다 생겼어.
된다 셈기서
생겼어 와데 이게 법이 침발해. 이제 통화 봐 연체를 막 요 봐. 이제 통화 봐 연체기 이제 동반이 연수도 비시리 아 된다 쓰지 말해. 혼자 시스템 다른 거 따바신도 보내 줘와. 내려와. 들어와.
And conventional bodhicitta is proceeded upon observing the bodies of Buddha, so the form body of the form body. Conventional bodhicitta is proceeded upon observing the form body, whereas Mahayana ultimate bodhicitta is proceeded upon observing the ultimate modes of abiding of Buddha. So, ultimate bodhicitta is proceeded upon observing the the ultimate modes of being of Buddha, meaning the meaning of emptiness. So it refers to the meaning of emptiness. And this ultimate bodhicitta or ultimate mind generation is an exalted knower that exists in Mahayana Arya's continuum. This ultimate bodhicitta is an exalted knower that exists in Mahayana Arya's continuum, and thus it doesn't exist in those Mahayanists who is on the ground of path of accumulation and path of preparation. So those Mahayana practitioners who enter straight to Mahayana, and then those Mahayanists who is on the path of accumulation and path of preparation. In their continua, there is no ultimate bodhicitta, because ultimate bodhicitta must be an exalted knower that exists in Mahayana Arya's continuum.
다 먼저 된다든지 들으라. 다 된다든지 저거다 간다. 에 돌아봐 주 인지 동반 인거 수도 비시들이. 그래서 된다든지는 다 shum망불로 두 송자 요래 시절에마다 이제 신시대 레스네 주 쇼스키가 시여 말했어.
오늘 양게 소나.
이제 신시대에서 이제 다다 오늘 것은 도비 이게 좋아. 이제 법지 동반이 된 것은 도비 시대 된다든지는 수 shum망불로 시는 거 레스테 들어오고 있었어도 shum망불로 쇼도 말 시절에 됐어. 이제 신시대 시여봤더니 요 말했어. 이제 신시대에서 요 누구 시여 말했을 거다. 쇼도 뭐 쇼신이 요 말했어.
Yeah. So ultimate bodhicitta exists in the continuum of Mahayana, on a Mahayanist who is on the path of seeing and above. Ultimate bodhicitta exists only in the continuum of Mahayanist who is on the path of seeing and above. So as I mentioned just now, ultimate bodhicitta is persisted upon observing the ultimate modes of beings of Buddha, right? So this ultimate bodhicitta is a mind that directly realizes the ultimate modes of being of Buddha. And this mind that directly realizes the ultimate modes of beings of bodhicitta is not posited as a Mahayana bodhicitta. So in any text, then you will not see that this mind that directly realizes the ultimate modes of beings of bodhicitta is as the Mahayana bodhicitta. Kasa te tomani di pen, ngon sum tu tobe semdi, xiong mo lai ne di teaching semgi de segi yo ma no. Ne teaching semgi ma re. Yeah. So in brief, ultimate bodhicitta is not a Mahayana bodhicitta.
아니 뭘 맞으려고 가르치나 다음 생지들 멤버 생지 짱지 다디 다지려고다 막 지나가서 와 같은 말이고 와 멤버 생지 짱지는 다 좋아하는 못 돼봐 지금에서 와 멤버 생지 짱지 좋아하는 못 돼봐 지금에서 하서게 다니는 생지 그것도 봐 샤오는 비는 생지 봐 짱지 다 좋아할 때고 말해서 그리고 말해 지금에서 다 되게 좋아할 때는 찍어야 돼다 단자 들어와 단자 와 단자 그래서 여기 멤버스인데 산지 마토버도 뒤나야 상내베 단자 줘라 단자 짜지 기니바데 이 좋아라 내가 학교 우리 좋아라 왜 조지 빠데 아데 샤고 때 소가리 어디 장주 나리 점으로 내가 여러와 나리 소리 내서 와 어디리 무슨 멤버스인데 짱지랑 가서 좋아라 때 말했지 이게 다 멤버스인데 예 그때 그거 가서는 산지 마토버 뒤나야 뭐 단자 줘라 단자 어디 단자 때문에 단자 세대 좋아할 수 있죠. 그래서 와.
So adopting engaging bodhicitta is different from aspiring bodhicitta, because when generates aspiring bodhicitta, there is no need to adopt those files and keep those files. So when merely generate aspiring bodhicitta, it can be generated without depending on ritual. So when you want to generate, when one generates an aspiring bodhicitta, it is not generated depending on ritual. So you can generate aspiring bodhicitta without depending on ritual. However, engaging bodhicitta is generated through ritual. Yeah, engaging bodhicitta is generated through rituals because it involves commitment that I will not give up this bodhicitta until I achieve the state of enlightenment. I will not give up or discard this mind, refers to bodhicitta, until I achieve the state of enlightenment. It involves the commitment to generate this bodhicitta. Thus, engaging bodhicitta is generated through ritual. And this engaging bodhicitta must be adopted through rituals is mentioned in Lama Atisha's instructions, and which is also mentioned in Rim text by Jerome.
이게 다들이 로고 말을 하고 그러면서 나비치기를 까비치기를 그래서 멤버 신직이 당장에 근데 소양이 예당 뭔가가 있지 그래서 메시지 동반이 말아 메시지 동반이 말아 예당 뭔가가 있지 그래서 메시지 가라 그럼 주도다 가서 주도 얘기라고 말아 와서 다들 조제된 일이 이제 신이 계속 제대로 간다 그래서 와 이제 와 대송자 된 제가 열어서 와 메시지는 가서 손자 내려줘 나비치기 뽕하다
Yeah, so adopting aspiring bodhicitta is different from adopting engaging bodhicitta. So adopting aspiring bodhicitta, the object or the vows, the precepts to be kept is adopting 4 wholesome qualities and abandoning 4 unwholesome qualities. So in other words, adopting 4 white qualities and abandon 4 black qualities. So these are the precept to be kept. And however, when one adopts engaging bodhicitta, then it involves taking the Bodhisattva vows. Then there are 18 root vows and 40 plus secondary vows. This lower. So relying on the 4 wholesome qualities and abandon 4 unwholesome qualities. So this I will explain probably in next part. Next is another outline, the outline of explaining the difference through example or through analogy, and the relevant verse is verse 16. As is understood by the instances of desiring to go and going, so the wise should understand respectively the distinction between these two.
since tangi de sanji kumba ta shao samba de members get the was nikala lo de nikala yo chumba yes ro since tangi de sanji kumba ta limba solis de nikala yo chumba yes 다 since tangi de sanji kumba ta shao sanji kumba ta shao na de chumba 인자 예 토발라 무엇이 유서 파지 쪽에 영서 내면서 좋아 유서 파지 쪽에 무엇이 영서 내면데 아 이 버스 무엇이 맞은 도안되는 도와서 먼저 아무 때나 그것이 이 베르젤 마시는 시스템을 찾아와 그래서 어디 이제 단지 산지 공부터 샤 그냥 맞지 이 체도 유서 파지 쪽으로 라바지 라바데 라바데 심바데 passing chase no ju passing chase lo wa da ju passing da sinje ta de sanji to ba shao nyam ba sanji member sinje ma to yeso pa ji de ba nyane shao de mo sin du yo ma nje de sin du yo ma to ba wo di yo ma les da dini che ba de chi wa yeso pa ji de nyane la be mo su ju ma ni.
So the difference between the aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta is through this the example that I will explain later. So basically, when we talk about this aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta, so these two types of bodhicitta, they both have this thought that I want to become Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. Both of these two types of both types of bodhicitta have this thought that I want to achieve the state of enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. And even though they are similar in being a mind, things that I want to achieve the state of enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. However, there is a difference between these two, which is whether this thought is being basically conjoined with the practice or training in the perfections, such as 6 perfections, such as generosity, then that is called engaging bodhicitta. So if it is not conjoined, if this thought is not especially conjoined with the training or a practice of 6 perfections, such as generosity, then it is aspiring bodhicitta. So aspiring bodhicitta is merely so it's a mere thought that I want to achieve the state of things that I want to achieve the state of enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. So it's the mere thought that thinks in this way. So engaging bodhicitta is on top of this thought, then it is being conjoined with the explicit practice or training in 6 perfections.
다 들리다 간다. 아주 샤오디 대단 아주 동체 대단 로 샤오 넘버 지시가 뭔가 뭐가 리진도 샤이 심마 신세 이 요레스 된다 되더와 당은 좀 빼샤바이나 그게 문지 지나로 간다 니마 아다 쭉고지라 로바치야 다 간다 로바치야 문지 쭉고 지나로 니마라 로바치야 좀 사든지 삼바 요와 그때 로비 삼바데 당아서 미 삼바 삼도 미니어 바치 근데 미마들라 로바치 게 동지 되나는 거 그래서 사원니가 여바치 미니 나 미티기 삼어 여바 삼마도 무슨 뭐라 당내 로고요 바지네 로고요 예저치 좋아 아 미셔나디 로바치가 요 삼바 나시 그냥 뭐라 당내 로셔와다 바지네 로야 되지 로바치가 좋아 로바치에 치 로바치에 치들 와 로바치에 치 어다더니 삐되래 맞아 담보 동체den도 샤는데 삼바 여바 지다 로바 삼바 나시 리지 저 무슨 심바치 당무스 심바데 예수 파치 두인하는 저 무슨 심바데 마심바데 로에 저바 송 여르데 이는 우스타 로도야 말와 어다 제바디네 민주니.
So the difference of aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta can be illustrated through this example or analogy. So which is going two people and then both thinking of going to a city to help the poor the poor people there in the city. So both there are two people, and then two of them have the thought or have the intention to help poor beings in the city. So even though they both have the same thoughts, and however, one conjoins this thought with the physical activity. So physical activities such as driving or walk to that city to help those poor beings in the city. And another one is even though he or she has this thought, but it is not conjoined with the physical activity of going there and physically helping those sentient beings. Yeah, physically going there to help those sentient beings there. So this is the difference. The difference of this analogy illustrates the difference between the aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta.
我大看到对象的旅下我们是什么意思跟社会对吧？原来小的还是都跟娘的小我们是什么现在的对的话，原来应该升级吧基本的话，对升级一切的上去工作对这些的那的话，应该上当了基本的话，基本的你呢，我是哪里哪里是吧？还是这个升级一切的，但上去是工作多，还是这个娘的买的了，上去工作多都给要嘛了，都对要嘛了，你接多嘛了。그래서 세제가 쇼야 버렸어 그거. 어디 어디니 제가 들어가다 멤버스도 주고 성진이 있어야 돼. 근데 이번에 리지 도와 대바다. 메이샤와 무슨 생각이 리지 공간 와라서 싶게. 하나 세제바 지바 임바라 오늘 지속 파시 두고 냐는 어느 수판 주네. 그다음에 제가. 와 어디
So the analogy is two people have the same thought or intention to help poor beings in the city, and however, one is being conjoined with the explicitly conjoined with the activity of helping those sentient beings or going there, by driving or walking there, and through this analogy, it illustrates the actual meaning is so both aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta are bodhicitta. So bodhicitta that thinks I want to achieve the state of enlightenment for the sake of others. However, one is being conjoined with the explicit practice of six perfections, whereas the other one does not. So, and if one has mere thought, thinking that I want to achieve the state of enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, and if this thought is not being conjoined with the practice of six perfections, then one will not be able to achieve the state of enlightenment, even though one has the bodhicitta. If it's not being conjoined with the practice of six perfections, one still will not be able to achieve the state of enlightenment.
더 민주주의 승리라고 한다더라. 민주 가로 가는 어디 민주 가로 간다 당한 좀 해봤어. 이거서 그러니 뭐마 샤우딩 많이 뒤져봐. 민주 가로 가기. 그때 봐야 내 제 내지 승부의 민주주의인데 넘바 이거서 이제 뭐가 더 민주 가로 아니 제 봐야 내 제우서 마지비 민주바데 다 넘바서 이제 있으니스. 아까 또 되고지는 이제 민주 가로 가기 제 봐야 내 제우서 승바데 안 좋았어. 민주 가로가 기반이 제일 우선 마시바디 다 민주 신청된다. 뭐 어두지나 우두지나 된다 고 따다 이유에서
이tumade lagu mare.
그거 어떻게 나
So when we talk about the entity of aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta, then usually they will be posited in this way. So a common locus of being any of aspiring bodhicitta or engaging bodhicitta, and it is explicitly conjoined with the activity of practicing the deeds, then this this is engaging bodhicitta. So I repeat, sorry, a common locus of being any of aspiring bodhicitta or engaging bodhicitta, it is as and then the comma or the second point, then it is explicitly conjoined
with the activity of practicing the deeds, then this is the entity of engaging bodhicitta. Then the entity of aspiring bodhicitta is a common locus of being of any aspiring bodhicitta or engaging bodhicitta. It is not explicitly conjoined with the activity of practicing the deeds. Then this is the nature of aspiring bodhicitta.
我的，当然说明白是就是说的，甚至的话还有小伙子呢，从那里给他具体把这个是明白是，
Simply.
我们是的， 你
Ah.
从那里， 你从那里就把那个上帝说了也有， 明白是意思吧？
Solemnly.
对，你就是从那里， 你是从那具体把这个是具体， 明白吧？ 그 기가 가서 사주박에 담아들어와. 사주박에 담아들어와. 이번에 yes. 다 누구스에서 이게 처음에 상지사. 누구스에서 상지사 받으셨어. 어디 빈치버들 상상.
And the difference between aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta can be explained from the perspective of boundaries. So the boundaries of aspiring bodhicitta range from Mahayana path of accumulation through the through the end of Juntepa, yeah, through the end of moment, I don't remember the terms exactly, but it refers to the last moment of 10th ground. So the boundaries of aspiring bodhicitta range from Mahayana path of accumulation to the end of continuum. End of continuum, yeah. End of continuum. So end of continuum refers to the last moment of 10th ground. And the boundaries of engaging bodhicitta range from the Mahayana path of accumulation to Buddha ground. So the difference between aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta can be explained from the perspective of boundaries as well. So boundaries of aspiring bodhicitta range from Mahayana path of accumulation through the end of continuum, which is the end of the 10th ground, the last moment of 10th ground. And the boundaries of engaging bodhicitta is range from Mahayana path of accumulation through Buddha ground.
我就说，他民主的东西啊，是吧？他就是嘛那个，他按照他听我了，而且呢，他往是message片，我对吧？message片的嘛，学意思吧？也就是说。
So next, we'll talk about the benefits of aspiring bodhicitta.
他message片的什么哪怕挺多的，就是对吧？很多的，讲的很多的，俺这是呢，背起下来嘛，送过多啊，背起下来送的，俺的为了多久人过去，到这十几天、七八天，都有的也是这几七八天的，跑堂的十几年去，跑堂的十几年说的，我说你给他人家他讲的是有时间了，你给人家十几年的是吧？
跑堂机，
跑堂十几年去些，是吧？你 message 是吧？message 举了电视呢，前面你可以跑堂，你可以里面有大众嘛，人家只是咱们把十几年的我也是看看，现在机会的话，他多久是过去吃呀？民不买的是，他多久是过去吃呢？米的有了，他看到多久是过去，米有了，他看到是吧？米我米要么多，我他就能把多土的也是，米有这里，我多土的时候是吧？也能行了我说，他就不对应的，那谁这个多久是过去吃你这个吃呀？他的楼的，你这的，然后上去有的看就是十几年的，跑上去十几年是对的，你这的，然后上去上去十几年。那长期性的米啊，我买的常态，明白自己的介绍呢，长期性的米，我买的长期性的这最早开始，长期性的这个最早的，我谈起多图的也是，是吧？多图的也是我的看到没事的了，看到的就把两年前我是谁个买的，我是谁个买的呢？我就是我去查查说的，看到的就把两年前我是谁把它查下来了，我看到。是吧？我就是过去查讲说的，就把两年前我是把它查完讲着，讲了样，那个那你把的十几件、七八件，有的也嘛在你这的，人家有的谈起十几年多也是，十几年多也是，我在等的是你把有的他讲没事的便是吧，是吧？没事的便，那长就是吧，没事的记了就是的， 장주 심바에 미도 말했어.
음.
그래서 줄라 되는 장주 심바 차사.
음.
와, 그래서 줄라 지전 장주 심바 차사.
음.
장주 심바 많이 게 지금 그래서 줄라 지금 요 말해. 자원이 요 말해. 이게 말 아마 좀 와. 아마 좀 간다 메시 줄라 된게 줄라 장주 심바마다 힘지 요 말해. 지요 말해.
mention the kula ki chana ne ti ja chu sema kya sa ro.
아니. 메시 줄라 되게 간사지 누나. 스파라리. 장주 심바에 산제 바바 말, 예대 바바 말, 당자 바바 말, 마스테 간사 말, 라모시 간사 말, 장주 심바 하래.
Sangi Papa Yamaro.
말을 산제 바바 말.
Saro. So to talk about the benefits of aspiring bodhicitta, then in the Arya Maitreya's life stories, in the life stories of Arya Maitreya, then he says that, oh, child of the lineage, that is like this. The example is like this. So a diamond, so even though it's broken, it still outshines all superior gold ornament. Even though a diamond is broken, it still outshines all superior gold ornament, and it will not lose the name of a diamond. So it's still, even though it is broken, then it or chipped, and it's still called a diamond, and is able to eliminate all poverties. So, and it's in this example, it says, even though sorry, I'll explain it later. Then he continues to say, oh, child of the lineage, similarly, so the diamond of bodhicitta in the omniscience outshines all the qualities of all the ornaments of qualities of hearers and solitary realizers. So the diamond of bodhicitta in the omniscience outshines all the ornaments of qualities in hearers and solitary realizers, and it doesn't lose the name of bodhicitta. It doesn't lose the name of doesn't lose the name of bodhicitta, and is able to eliminate all poverties in samsara. So in these life stories of Arya Maitreya, it says the diamond, even though is broken or chipped. So broken means that even though, so the meaning that is illustrating is, even though aspiring bodhicitta is free of, I'll say, is not being conjoined with the explicit practice of 6 perfections. So that is what it means by the example, a diamond is, even though it's broken. So broken means that the aspiring bodhicitta is not conjoined with the explicit practice of bodhicitta, and however, it still outshines all superior gold ornament, and superior gold ornament refers to hearers and solitary realizers. So even though it is broken, then it still outshines all hearers and solitary realizers. And once aspiring bodhicitta is generated in the continuum, and that person will be included within the class of bodhicitta. So that person becomes a bodhicitta, then he is not hearers, he is not solitary realizers, and it is not Arya Buddha, it is Bodhisattvas. And once aspiring bodhicitta is generated in one's continuum, then one becomes a bodhisattva, and one is able to eliminate the poverty in samsara, all poverties in samsara.
그래서 멤버스들 다시 먼저 이게 총론의 진타바의 요래서 라이바 이디바 요래서 라이바 어떤 가서 진타바의 서티바 카마바의 요래를 오다 멤버스들 들어와 다들 멤버스들 요새 강사들 간디 시작 얘도가 양샤바 간디 샤브레는 양샤바 지라샤 양샤바 다 진타바 원아 바치면 원자 원아 바치면 바티 오니가 세주로 양바샤는 게 양샤바래 좋아.
공람 바지 메람바.
돈이 진정바시 고나 바지 메람.
동이 제주도.
남바시가 남샤바는 고나로 고나 바지 메람. 우리 제주도 남바샤는 게 고나 바지 메람 바 디줄라 senji yoreesna senji yoreesna 단지 말와 단지 바이나 senji 메서 주 말와 디줄라 senji yorees 아니었으나 멤버 senji 봐 디고 senji 요마 디고 senji 요마 member sinji yores wa member sinji yores mo pe oni la zi ju de nyamba sha de wa oni la zi ju de nyamba sha de member sinji mo de ju du ma member sinji de ju du ma ka de ge la ka su sinji yore member sinji yores member sinji wa member sinji yores lo 我当时说，一般的，这些从哪里人，我觉得是当不两下吧，你把说把西吧，两下吧，用我就生气的，没把生气嘛的，就把生气没意思，就把生气没意思，就把生气是我就解脱进去思想，解脱进去个是，就把生气，是吧？是当不完呢，是当不解脱吧，你个是，是你把解脱吧，是就把一个是就把解脱这个是，我等你解脱这个是，把生气的领悟有点嘛的。 그래서 냠샤기네 가서 죽었을 때 이거 주도요. 일단 냠샤 가서 생기 요지. 아여서 멤버스니 예스. 그래서 이제 총안에 준타 빠디 요서 준타 사마다 서트가 사마다 이제 시고로 아마도 돈이나 찌찌도 냠바샤네 기들이. 코페 끼지니 바 산지 주고 더 거리와 그래 되러 와. 조심을 저기로 와. 어디 예스 다 그래.
And the boundaries of aspiring bodhicitta that I mentioned just now range from Mahayana path of accumulation through the end of continuum, which is the end, the last moment of end ground, right? And this person is about to achieve the state of enlightenment, and this person is in the state of meditative equipoise, right? So if we say this as yeah, so this aspiring bodhicitta, to kasa dinyam shabanan jito badi kasa munsim di jawa kari.
면세서 냥샤부 줄여요. 예세. 냥샤부 줄여.
냥샤부 줄라 요레스.
오. 그래서 준타 넣어요 방에. 준타와 소나네 준티바디 요레 산타 차이 봐. 준타 와서는 사치바긴 타마. 우리가 찍기도 냥마샤비 넘자바리. 대기라 신체 요레스 요레스. 신체 가려서 멤버스 요레 6% 요 말해요. 냥샤바 감각이 지다. 사 당분 쭈바 빠도 냥샤바 감각이 지다. 멤버스 좀 6% 요 말해. 냥샤바 다리나. 우리가自己 냥바 샤디로 와. 저도 저 찍어라 하죠. 우리가 냥바 샤디게 사 당보 있는 자주 좀 말해. 정말 자주 좀 말아 와. 자주 좀 봐이 시디 신체 요구로 와. 신체 어디 신체 니노 가리어 스타니노. 멤버스 주버스 니노 가리어서 멤버스 지요로. 멤버스 지요.
Yeah. So the boundaries of aspiring bodhicitta range from Mahayana path of accumulation through the ends of continuum, which is the last moment of end ground. So these aspiring bodhicitta exist in the continuums of those who are in the meditative equipoise, of those who abides in the meditative equipoise. So those who abides in the meditative equipoise, because it says Mahayana path of accumulation to the end of continuum, right? So means they are all bodhisattvas. So they are even those who are on the end ground. So those who abides in the meditative equipoise. So when they are in the meditative equipoise, when their mind is single-pointedly focused on the meaning of emptiness, so in their mind, does bodhicitta exist or not? Then the answer is yes. So those who abides in the meditative equipoise on the first ground, for example, the Mahayana first ground, then in their mind, bodhicitta exists. There is bodhicitta, and that bodhicitta is an inspiring bodhicitta. It is not an engaging bodhicitta. So why do we say that the bodhicitta in the continuum of a person who abides in meditative equipoise, focusing on the meaning of emptiness, is not an engaging bodhicitta? It is because, for example, a person who is on the uninterrupted path of meditation. So when the meaning of emptiness, then in his or her continuum, there is bodhicitta. So you cannot say that there is no bodhicitta because they are bodhisattvas, right? So they have a bodhicitta So, however, it is an aspiring bodhicitta, and it is not an engaging bodhicitta because they are single-pointedly focused on the meaning of emptiness, right? So, in the meditative equipoise, when this person's mind is single-pointedly focused on emptiness, as engaging bodhicitta cannot manifest. So while this person is in the meditative equipoise, single-pointedly focused on emptiness, engaging bodhicitta cannot manifest. So, however, in his or her continuum, there is bodhicitta, right? And that bodhicitta is aspiring bodhicitta. So, and engaging bodhicitta exists in the continuum of those who is in the subsequent attainment. So, person who is on the who is in the meditative equipoise, and person who is uh, uh, who is uh, who is during who is in the subsequent attainment. So it's close meditation. Person who is in the meditative equipoise and person who is in the subsequent attainment. So aspiring, engaging bodhicitta exists in the continuum of those who is in the subsequent attainment, and those those persons who are in the meditative equipoise single-pointedly focus on the meaning of emptiness. So whether they are on the first ground or whether they are on the 10th ground, then and that bodhicitta that exists in their continuum is an aspiring bodhicitta. That is verse 17. Although will arise in cleansing from the wish for enlightenment, an uninterrupted flow of merit will not arise, as in the case of the engaging mind. So the verse 17 says, although great fruit will arise in cyclism from the mind that wishes for enlightenment, an uninterrupted flow of merit will not arise, as in the case of the engaging mind, right? So from this, when we, so this verse says that when we are in the, even when we are in the samsara, so once aspiring bodhicitta is generated in one continuum, one will accumulate extensive merits, and one will be able to dispel the poverty in samsara. So aspiring bodhicitta itself has such great benefits. However, it will not be able to be like the merits of engaging bodhicitta that is so forceful and uninterrupted, and it flows uninterruptedly. So this verse might sound like the merit of aspiring bodhicitta if not uninterrupted. So it might sound like the merit of inspiring bodhicitta is not uninterrupted. However, we should understand that the merit accumulated, the merit of aspiring bodhicitta is uninterrupted, just like the merit of engaging bodhicitta. It's just that the merit of aspiring bodhicitta is not as forceful as the merit of engaging bodhicitta. So both of them also, the merit of these two bodhicittas are uninterrupted. It's just that the merit of aspiring bodhicitta is not as forceful as that of engaging bodhicitta.
What you do, that's not the one is. What do you want to answer? Said you about it. You see, you need much you go. You see, you pay the zero.
10조, 가마 10조.
Oh, and you see, you pay much here. And then what's the CG? My brain. Honey, so you send you come higher up to Bush, Motoba, CG, say on that one to the any sort of come. I made you just say, no, Jimmy Chiva to my shit, Nankanyoma, rather than you say. You should have need to.
Next is another outline, the benefits of engaging bodhicitta. And under this outline, there are two verses, verse 18 and verse 19. For one who has perfectly adopted this mind with the thought never to turn away for the sake of totally liberating the infinite realms of sentient beings, from that time onwards, even while asleep or lacking continuously ensue.
Not on the Lodua, and person to the Leody, on the D. Person, number D. Sunday, as a conduct comes in the Rua, you see, of the tennis, conduct, what's in checks? Nakat Kayaba, or Nakataba Kayaba, the quality, you are doing, do a D. Cheto, or do a digital Sanji Kuba, and go but D. Cheto, then what you see. In Nayang, CG telling us, Chanju said, Mado, every day, Roa, home is at the day, you see them Roa. Zilian, Roa, Sanji, the Sanji to combat the reach in Skilland, and Jadi, he did Tanya, he did so.
Similarly, you don't do.
Was indicated. CG, the Taya, and other CG Mamma, Roa, I'm quite to see what I can say that. I'm going to say, I shall say, Roa, you said, Roa, what the digging, and Sonia, he and just to be. You say not tennis soon. He tennis soon. And Nilo by ina, Ranoa, Wameba. And this Juvaina, Sonaji, shoot it. Dream much about saying Nankatana, but you want it. Yes, you say the word. Nankatana, but you want yes.
So he says, for one who has perfectly adopted this mind, so meaning that whenever one has perfectly adopted this mind, with the thought never to turn away for the sake of totally liberating the infinite realms of sentient beings, then from that time onwards, so these two verses are linked. It says, whenever one has perfectly adopted this mind, so whenever one has adopted this this engaging bodhicitta. So this engaging bodhicitta is for the sake of all sentient beings, for the sake of liberating all sentient beings from samsara. I will not eat bodhicitta until as long as cyclic existence exists. So I will not for the sake of liberating all sentient beings from samsara, I will not give up bodhicitta as long as cyclic existence exists. And this is the engaging bodhicitta. So whenever one has perfectly adopted his mind with the thought never to turn away for the sake of totally liberating the infinite realms of sentient beings from samsara, then the merit one will accumulate is uninterrupted, and the merit is extensive like the realms of space.
다가를 주고서 이제 들리는 사이 제가 들어와 주고서 이제 괜히 사이 제가 내가 어서 배 많이 그디나다 거기는 로디 보이나다 와 하나사는 보이나다 자동 보이나다 거기도 보이나다 안당 가서 사람들 주마치가 휴청 보내 그래 해서 주고서 이제 괜히 봐 들어와 신나도 주마치가 소속 이제 주고서 이제 생사리 소속이라 동바 게네지 동바이나다 마 동바이나다 자주스비 동바이나다 소다지 동바이나다 동바 가리나 동바 속에 신나 이거 휴치와 주마치바 동바소이 사람지 유라 어떤 리스너데 니바치와 휴치와 주마치바 해도 무슨 자주신 주고서 이제 신사로와 어다 들리기 이래서 한 주고서 이제 소화를 가서 이게 자체 뭐 쇼지를 해서 이러와 된다고.
So once one has adopted engaging bodhicitta, whether one is so then the verse 19 it says from that time onwards. So once one has has adopted engaging bodhicitta, then even when one is asleep or one lacks consciousness, even one is walking, even one is eating, or even one is drinking a cup of tea or coffee, since the vows that liberation vows, bodhisattva vows, and tantric vows, since these vows are being conjoined with engaging bodhicitta, the merit that one will accumulate will be extensive, like space, as vast as space, and the merit will be uninterrupted. So it talks about the benefits of engaging bodhicitta.
뭐 뒤지 다 간다 멤버스 이제 서버 지당 가서 저불러 되는 상황에 있어서 멤버스 이제 된 가서 다 지금 그 사실 공부하고야 되는데
Muslim setting.
민도와 내신은 저불러 되는 상황에서 너도 와서 생각 멤버스 이제 가서 진짜 되는 사실 공부하고야 되는데요 예전에마다 무엇을 그 인사 가지 두고 년에라 인주 년에 그것이 신동이야 말와 그것이 신마 도와서다 난 누가스 미서도 무엇을 년에 인주파 사실 공부하고야 년에 무엇을 생활이 하여튼 비밀 제가 들리고 그래서 와 제가 들리고 그래서 그 멤버스 이제 가서 내가 쓰나 주마 제가 얘기해서 이거 쓰나 주마 제가 연구해서 얘는 주파스 이제 나시 된데 쓰나 또 괜찮아 아마 제가 이렇게 되고 말해 그래서 보다 딜라고 딜러야 안다 멤버스 이제 제자리 쓰나 주마 제가 제내고 말씀을 드리야 보여 멤버스 이제 장주 세 자체 보시고 봐 자체 뭐 조지에서
Aspiring bodhicitta is a mere striving for the result. Aspiring bodhicitta is a mere striving for the result. So mere striving for the result, and that result refers to the state of enlightenment. So, it is not being conjoined with the. It is not explicitly conjoined with the practice of six perfections, whereas engaging bodhicitta. So engaging bodhicitta is not only is a thought that strives for the result, which is the state of enlightenment, and it is being conjoined with being explicitly conjoined with the activities of practicing the deeds of the six perfections. So these two, aspiring bodhicitta is a mere thought striving, is a mere striving for the result, which is state of enlightenment, is not being conjoined with is not being explicitly conjoined with the practice of six perfections. So if one only generates aspiring bodhicitta, one is unable to engage in the six perfections yet. And however, when one has adopted engaging bodhicitta, so not only is it a mere striving for the result. Sorry, not only it strives for the result, it is being conjoined with the practice of six perfections. It is being explicitly conjoined with the practice of six perfections. That's why the merit of engaging bodhicitta is vast like space and uninterrupted. And both of the merit of engaging bodhicitta and the merit of aspiring bodhicitta are uninterrupted. However, the merit of aspiring bodhicitta is not as forceful as the merit of engaging bodhicitta. So bodhicitta through citing quotation, through citing scripture and proof by reasoning. Yeah, so today no time for question and answer. If you have any, please ask in next card. We conclude these sessions, this lesson with dedication. We dedicate these roots of virtue for the flourishing of Buddha Dharma and for the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live beyond long, to have excellent health, and may all their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue, especially to our beloved teacher, Geshe Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche be swiftly returned and continue to turn the wheel of Dharma for the sake of all sentient beings and beings, so that we will have the opportunity to receive the profound teachings from Rinpoche again, just like before. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace. May excellent happiness prevail in the world. May wars, conflicts, disaster, natural disaster, pandemic, diseases be pacified immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue, especially to those who pass away due to wars, conflicts, disaster, natural disaster, and etc.